All right, I think. So am I like on live? Okay, so it's showed me that I'm live right now. But for some reason it's not giving me... Oh, there we go. Yeah, for whatever reason, my actual stream page is just not giving me my live feed. There we go. All right, so we are good to go. All right, we are finally good. I think I fixed all of the problems. So like I was saying before in my previous stream that I was trying to do of Guild Wars Eye of the North the other day, is that YouTube is a totally shitty platform to live stream from. I don't know how else to say it. They just suck. There's just so many times, and it's infrequent, and you get no notification that this is happening. But there's some times where YouTube is just, it just won't work. You can't upload things to them. There's all kinds of errors when you didn't used to be, or there'll be times where I try to stream and guess what? It's not my computer. It's not my hardware. It's not my ISP or like the local infrastructure or anything else. It's fucking YouTube. It's YouTube. YouTube sucks. I don't want to go to Twitch, but I feel like I'm going to have to eventually here, like really soon, and start streaming there because they're like the de facto streaming site. And it makes sense to do it. But for right now, we're going to stick with YouTube. Today is one of those days where I think we can actually get a really good stream in, or at least for a long enough stream in. So I think we're going to do that. We are going to be playing Grim Dawn today, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, one thing I want to do, let's, before we get into my whole spiel, let's get everything else set up. So it looks like our connection speed and everything else is fine. I'm not receiving that really weird choppy lag that I was before, which was really annoying. I don't understand why it was actually happening. Okay, so get back into game here. Oops. There we go. Okay, so like I was saying before in my attempt to stream this game a few minutes ago, I've really wanted to jump right into Grim Dawn and start playing it. And unfortunately for this game, there's just been a couple of big obstacles in my way to actually allowing me to just play the game and enjoy it. First of which, the thing that I was talking about before was that, you know, Grim Dawn is basically a reskinned, updated form of Titan Quest. And I have to say that there are a couple of the developers from the original Titan Quest team that made Grim Dawn here. And I don't remember which ones they were. I think they were actually some of the lead developers, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a couple of them. But I was never really a big fan of Titan Quest, to be quite honest. I didn't find out about it until like years after it released. But even when it would have released, I don't think I really would have gotten into it. It was like right up my alley with the whole like Diablo 2 clone kind of aspect, but the ancient Greek mythological kind of theme, it's just not my thing. And not only that, but the game was really slow, it was boring. I just didn't care for it. And you know, out of all my negative criticisms of Titan Quest, kind of really bled into my criticisms of Grim Dawn very pretentiously, because a lot of like the problems that Titan Quest had functionally or mechanically are not here in Grim Dawn. So I've always had like these preconceived notions because of the whole like Titan Questy things that were like ripped straight up from that game and just updated to fit into this game, like for instance the class and the skill system. But with that being said, I have had lately having this hankering to play this game and actually do a series on it. And I think I've put in enough just hours into it casually to be able to play this game successfully and not die. And we're going to do that today. We're going to be playing a veteran hardcore character, and I've made up my mind since our Diablo 2 campaign kind of died at like what, level 66 or level 68. We're gonna play as a necromancer. We're gonna give a good ode, an homage to my Diablo 2 campaign by playing a necromancer. I don't know what we're gonna go for our secondary. I'm thinking maybe we'll go for, what is it, the occultist, so we can go as a Kabbalist and do a total pet build. But I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't really know if I want to like do some generic archetypical build. So I don't know. We'll decide on what we're going to do. I have no idea if this is actually going to work or if it's going to survive or how long we're going to go, but we're going to continue to play this and have fun with it. The other thing I have to say is that just like the Diablo 2 campaign, this is going to be strictly straight up 100% live stream. It's not going to be hybrid. I'm not going to be playing this game not live, as in like just a regular Let's Play episode or whatever. It was going to be completely live streamed. Oh, and I have 3 mods that I'm playing with, by the way. We are playing currently with the most up-to-date patch, which is going to be 1.0.6.1, and it's going to be with all of the DLC, by the way, up to and including the expansion, as you can see, Ashes of Malmouth. The 3 mods that I'm playing with are strictly just, one of them's audio, and the 2 other ones are just purely cosmetic. Seriously, if you go down into the description, I actually have links to the 3 mods that I'm playing with. The first switch is called Item Filter via color coding. It's not really a mod, it's just so much as a tweak. And all it does is it colors affixes. So it's like if you have a rare item that's green and you have obviously your prefix and your suffix. If you have a rare prefix, it'll come out, that word will be green. But if it's a regular magical suffix, it'll be yellow. So it'll be actually color-coded. That's what it does. That's all it does. Strictly cosmetic. The other thing is called Ethereal Reshade version 1.2. And basically all that does is saturate the colors. You can't really see it now. We'll actually see it a little bit more in-game. But it's what they try to do is they just try to adjust the color settings to so it came out to be more of like a Diablo 3-like aesthetic. And I thought it was interesting. I checked it out, and once I booted it up, I actually kind of liked it. It does get a little oversaturated, especially while in town. That would be my one complaint about it. But otherwise, I'm having a good time with it. The third and last thing is called Legendary Drop Sound, the epic version. So basically, anytime a legendary item or an epic item drops, it's going to make a different noise. It's going to make a different sound effect. I have not tested that yet because I actually haven't found any legendary or epic items. So I'm hoping it works. It'd be nice. So let's actually create a new character. We are indeed going to be playing with veteran and hardcore. We're going to be playing a female character. We're going to call you Miller Genuine Draft. Love it. And let's begin our campaign here. We're going to see our opening sequence here.
We paid a heavy price, but the trap worked.
You seem surprised.
It's been a while since we've had a win. How long will it hold?
I've never entrapped a being like this, but the bonds hold, for now.
How do we dispose of it?
I'm just a witch. You're the soldier.
If it bleeds, I can kill it.
How do you kill a spirit, though?
If you kill the mortal vessel while it's bound, the spirit may perish within. If it escapes...
It's listening to us.
What are you?
Others of your kind name us Ethereal.
Why have you invaded our world?
Your world. We existed first, but were managed by your corrupt gods. Your kind opened the way, and now we return to claim what by right should be ours.
I've heard enough of this rubbish. Let's hang it.
Destroy this vessel, and I will find another. I have tasted its desires and emotions. Your kind is weak. You have already launched this war.
Do it.
Captain!
Cut him down. What? Are you mad? Better safe than sorry.
The spirit has fled!
This is a human now.
The captain is correct. When they awaken, they won't remember a thing.
The Ethereal was right. The war is lost. We're a resistance now, and we need every human survivor we can call to our cause. Maybe this one here can still die with some honor. If they ever wake up, send them to me. If they don't, bury him deep with the others.
Alright, so like I was saying before, I have not played much of Grim Dawn in the past, so I haven't really made it too far into the story or into the campaign. Let's see here, can we get a world map? Okay, so I think I've made it, I want to say maybe around like the Foggy Bank, Burwich outskirts. Like, I've made it that far into the game, and I don't think I've made it all the way up to Burwich Village before. Maybe I have. I don't know. I think there was a time maybe where I abandoned part of this campaign and then actually repaired the bridge and came over here. The point I'm trying to make, though, is I haven't played much of this, so I haven't spoiled the story via, like, you know, watching other people's, like, Let's Play series or whatever. So I don't really know what happens, and I don't want to spoil it, and I'm really looking forward to actually getting into this campaign and doing it. So if you're looking for me to, like, skip past, like, the cinematics or any of the lore or anything, I don't think so. I want to get, like, the full experience with everybody here, because I'm kind of a noob when it comes to this game, and you know, I need to take it a little bit slow. Let's increase the size of our mini-map, by the way. I find that to be a lot more helpful.
Still drawing breath, I see. You're one lucky bastard, I'll give you that. Best go speak to Captain Bourbon right away. He seems to have a plan for you now that we've spared your life.
So what happened? How did I get here?
You were possessed, so we strung you up. Seems the spirit fled your body before your life ran out. I'd have left you to hang, but the captain had other plans. He sees some purpose in you, and I'm not going to argue.
Well, where can I find this captain, then?
He's, up the road, in the courtyard. Don't make me regret cutting you down.
I'll be on my way, then. Okay, so we have a quest here to talk to a captain. So we don't actually know what our beginning class is. We are literally classless until level 2. In which case we'll be able to actually get into the screen, and I'd be able to show you what I was talking about when it comes to some of the classes and whatnot. Inventory is pretty standard. We just have a splintered club. Let's see here, plank shield. The salt bag is an actual amulet, FYI. It's your worn clothing and worn pants. And then, of course, we got our 3 main stats here. Unlike Diablo 2, where we've got, what, 5 stats? And you can really, like, maximize, min-max your character and everything. This game kind of goes, like, in between Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 to some extent. It's kind of streamlined, but kind of not. Basically, each of these attributes, they kind of, like, have 2 main focuses, if you will, for the most part. But we'll get into that when we actually get into, like, the skills and whatnot, because when you pump into your masteries, you actually pump up your skills a little bit more. When I said something about repairing the bridge, this is what I was talking about. If we come over here to this, Arcovian Foothills Bridge Repair Site. This bridge once connected Devil's Crossing and the Arcovian Foothills to the northwest. It must be restored before you can cross it. It'll take 6 scrap and 3,000 iron bits to repair. The iron bits are your money in this game. That's our currency. And the scrap is an item that we're gonna need to start hoarding. Oh, and I have to say, it's down in the description, but we are playing hardcore veteran, but I'm also doing this 100% self-found like we did in our Diablo 2 campaign. So no trading with other people, and I'm not going to be using the global stash option or the tab or whatever else. So the only items that this character is going to have in their possession, in their stash, in their inventory, or equipped onto them is going to be stuff that we found. And it's always going to be on camera. I'm going to record 100% of this.
So you're the one we almost hung. I didn't really see a sense in it, but then again, No one really cares what old Barnabas thinks. You really should go speak with the captain. He'll be the one deciding whether there's a place for you here at Devil's Crossing.
Well, take care, sir. So just to give you guys a heads up, you know, we can rotate the camera, which we're going to be doing quite a lot throughout our campaign, just FYI, and then we can obviously zoom in. You know what, when it comes to action RPG, Diablo-esque type games, personally, the better advantageous camera view is always going to be the one that's the most zoomed out, unless of course you can go to like some ridiculous level or something like that, but I haven't really seen much of that. But like the point of like zooming in is just really for cinematic effect. So we may end up doing that a little bit. I do find that there are a lot of things that you can interact with in the world that you might actually end up missing when you're completely zoomed out, but when you're zoomed in just a little bit, you actually can kind of spot certain things. So I think we may end up doing that. And if you notice over here in town, if you notice the kind of the coloring, the way certain things are shaded and the way the lighting is kind of making everything have a different hue to it, this is what the ethereal reshade version 1.2 mod that I'm running does. It's just purely cosmetic, man. It is. I know I hate to say that. I know that's kind of like a buzzword or a catchphrase in the age of loot boxes and all that shit. But this is purely cosmetic, I swear to God. Now let's talk to Hardmond here. We are going to talk to everybody. Every single person. I'm not going to go through like all of the little like lower pieces and all that stuff. I mean, unless of course there's like some kind of precedent or serious like context for it. I will, you know, keep it up there for just a second, but not read it. Oh look, it's the possessed one. Tell you what, I've got something that needs doing, and I'll pay good to see it done. I'm not quite sure what. I'm not sure you've got what it takes, but come back with some blood on your boots, and maybe I'll reconsider. Just try to make sure it's not your own blood. All right then. We got our merchant over here.
Give you a good price on what I've got left.
So we're not going to actually buy anything. You do and can buy scrap here, FYI. It's a good idea to always actually have a little bit of money to buy the scrap. We can find plenty of it in the wild, but it's all RNG based, so there's no telling that you're actually going to find the scrap that you need. So anytime you come back to the merchant and he's got scrap, it's probably behooves you to actually purchase it.
Well spent.
All right, let's talk to Rook, the gatekeeper here. Sorry, but I cannot let you enter. You'll need to be cleared by the captain before I let you through. Okay, so we'll speak to the captain then. Let's talk to Corey, the keeper. Well met, friend. Have I seen you before? Perhaps we've met on the road somewhere? Corey is the name. I'm a traveler, a trader, a keeper of the strange. There was a time when, well, no matter. I've traveled far, always in the shadows. So this guy, I think, is like the best way to describe him is kind of like a DLC character, right? He doesn't sell the DLC. It doesn't take you to like a cash shop or something. But it's like, I think it's like part of a DLC pack where you get all these different items here, and they're like cosmetic items. So you could basically like transmute. So for instance, our inventory here, right? This worn clothing is making us look the way we do. And like it'll give you a cosmetic item that you can actually place on this, will change the skin. It'll reskin it, basically. There is a potion he can give you, but I really don't want it. But there is a pet that I think it's totally in our interest to have. So what's the glowing in your pocket? Oh, this. Corey holds up a jar filled with a swirling blue light. That, my friend, is a will-o-wisp. They're handy in dark places. So we received the will-o-wisp in a jar. Basically, there you go. That's all it does. It gives you a light radius. But it is an extra pet who, if I'm not mistaken, will receive all of the bonuses from whatever kind of +2 pet damage or any of the skills related to pets. So right now it's set at aggressive. No, excuse me, that's set to normal. Aggressive is the red sword, okay. So we're going to set it to defensive because it doesn't actually do anything. Also, the other thing I'm going to do right off the bat, I think we should probably pull down the ambience volume. So I've done some like some pre-recording tests to get the audio levels where I wanted them. And I think I've done a pretty good job, but I know that there were going to be a couple that I needed to adjust given any point in time. So here's the captain right here. He's obviously the guy that we need to talk to finish this quest here, but we're going to come over here to...
you must be the Taken. I heard about
Kasparov.
that mess at the gallows. Grisly business. I don't care for it. I'm quite eager to learn more about you, but you really should speak to the captain before wandering too much around the camp.
All right, then. All right, let's go talk to the captain.
You're not looking too bad for someone just come back from the brink of death. You were taken, possessed by the same creatures that have been reanimating these zombies here. Normally, I'd have burned you with the rest to be safe, but we've lost too many people to the dead. I need someone expendable, someone with nothing to lose but a lot to gain. Right now, you're that person. Prove your worth to me, and the survivors of Devil's Crossing may just welcome you.
What is it you want me to do, sir?
The bodies of the dead are rising again in some horrible unlife. Corpses don't just get up and move around on their own. Something is reanimating our deceased with ethereal energy. We have observed the dead for some time, and they appear to be flooding Lower Crossing from the burial hill, just beyond town. I want you to go to the burial hill, find whatever is controlling these abominations, and destroy it.
Where can I find Burial Hill?
You will need to fight your way through Lower Crossing. Once you've crossed the stream on the far side of town, there will be a beaten path leading up to Burial Hill. I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I'd be asking a lot of my people to welcome you with open arms, too. Help us in our hour of need, and I will open Devil's Crossing to you.
I'll find what's reanimating those corpses. So we got our new quest here. All right, this big purple thing is basically our waypoint system. That's all it is. So it'll take us to the world map. All the white question marks that you see here, or at least the black question marks and the little white circle, those are all waypoints that once we have access to, we'll be able to start warping there, obviously. But we don't have access to anything because we haven't unlocked anything. Let's see here. We got a couple other guards over here that are just kind of for show. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the item filter that I was talking about, as you notice that we have a yellow item. If I didn't have this turned on, this entire thing would just appear in yellow text. But because I have this item filter on, it basically just color codes the affixes. So Stalwart is a what is this considered? These are yellow's magic. So Stalwart and of Thorns are both magic level affixes, I guess. Is that the right way to say it? I think so. And then it also color codes the different damages and stuff like for instance, like cold damage is going to appear blue, fire damage should be red, like stuff like that. So not a big deal, but I think the change is a welcome one. Pretty much have no choice but melee a bunch of zombies in the beginning to gain our first level. And I apologize too, we're having to record this in 30 FPS. I was trying to actually record it in full 60 FPS, but apparently I really need to step up my video card. Like, video card I'm running is pretty good. It's still definitely viable. But apparently it's not strong enough to actually do somewhat kind of sort of modern games in full 60 frames per second when it comes to actually recording. Like, I can obviously get a full 60 frames per second, like, playing the game. Like, the actual native FPS is definitely high. I just can't record it at that nice high frames per second. Okay, so we did just gain a level. That's what the whole that whole sequence was. All right, so here we go. So our first class, we were going to be a Necromancer, okay? And then we'll get access to our second class at level 10. And then, based upon what sequence of classes that we choose, it'll actually just rename our class. And the renaming of it is just basically the name for that sequence, that combination The devotion here is kind of like an additional like perk system, if you will. If you're really familiar with like Path of Exile, you know, seeing its big convoluted skill system, the big web, this should be kind of familiar to you. But the difference is that we have to have affinities. And the devotion points, basically we have to find like a corrupted shrine. We talk to the shrine and it'll give you like whatever its requirements are. It's usually, I think you have to give like an aether shard, and it'll give you a devotion point, and then you put the devotion point into one of these constellations. Like for instance, you start off over here in Crossroads, and this one will give you the corresponding affinity. So for instance, we want this one. It'll give us the purple affinity, which is ascendant. And if we hover over them, if we scroll out here, you can see the ones that are related to it, which is pretty cool. I'm not really entirely sure how I'm going to go about doing devotions. I have looked up a couple of builds for what I have like in mind, my actual like frame of mind, my mindset about what I want to do. Like I have a general like rubric, right? But like I'm not following somebody's straight up build. I am not going by the books or by the numbers with this. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do it. It just makes me feel icky. You know, I played Magic the Gathering for so many years and years and years, and I fucking hated it when people net decked. When people just, you know, lazily got on the internet, looked up like, you know, Pro X, you know, played at tournament Y and won with, you know, what is the hot meta game camp, you know, deck to play. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that with builds. I hate it. So we're going to go our own route. Oh, you know, speaking of which, probably should actually do it. So I said we were going to be playing as a Necromancer. So got a little bit of lore here. All right, so the way it works, when I was talking about the attribute system, is that you got two different things here. You got your actual skills, okay? But then we also have our mastery. This is our mastery. It goes all the way up to 50, and then for every class too, it's always going to be the same. So basically, there's going to be 100 points that you want to put into both masteries to max them both out. And every time you level up, you're going to get more than one skill point, obviously. I don't know if it actually scales or if it's just a consistent 3 points every level. I don't remember. But we start off with the 3 points actually when we gained our second level here. So first of all, we are going to be committing to becoming a Necromancer. So let's put our first mastery point in. And that gives us to our first row of skills. So basically the way we unlock the higher level skills is that we got to pump up points into our masteries to be able to unlock, you know, this last row of skills here. So which basically means you can min-max in this game pretty ridiculously, because, you know, if you were going to go, like, say, a second class for a specific skill, and that skill happened to be in their, like, level 15 branch, you could level up the masteries just to 15 just to grab that skill and max it out, and then, you know, use the rest of the skill points to buff up other skills. However, the one drawback to that is every time you pump up your mastery here, there you go. It pumps up your attributes, and it pumps up your health and your mana. So it's always a good idea to actually just level this up anyways. But I could see there being like a pretty good theory crafter out there saying that, you know, if you just wanted the level 15 skill, you should probably only level it up here, and, you know, to take these other skills, and here's why, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to get into that. We are going to do raise skeletons. So one theory about doing a zoomancer build like we ran in Diablo 2, one theory here for doing it here in Grim Dawn was basically to pump all of your skill points up to what is it going to be, like level like 10 or something like that, to max out raise skeletons, and then put the rest of them in straight up to level up or completely max out your mastery. I didn't really like that approach. I actually tried doing that. I ran a little test build of it on my own the other day, and I just didn't really like the way it played. I think the way you should probably do it is maybe put 2 points into mastery and then 1 point into raise skeletons. And then when you get up to, say, Undead Legion and Will of the Crypt, you start, you know, putting skill points into other places. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to do 1 more point into our mastery here. And then let's actually set our skills. So first of all, what's good about this game compared to Diablo 2 is, wow, like we could actually command our pets to do stuff. instead of it being strictly AI controlled. So first of all, let's raise our skeletons. And the raised skeletons in this game, you get 3 skeletons, right, per cast. So if you are able to raise, say, 5 skeletons, you're gonna have to cast raised skeletons twice to be able to get them. And as you can see, we can zoom in. We got our 3 skeletons. These guys are random. As we level up our skill here, raised skeletons, they have a higher percentage chance to actually be different classes. So you got archers, you got your arcanist, which is your mage, and then we've got our melee characters, and then there's a 4th one, but I forget what it is. I forget what the actual title of it is, but I think the way you level it up, if you max it out, you have a higher chance of getting, I think, the archers and the mages, which are some of the better ones. So as you can tell, I'm using my first skill here, pet attack. So if I say hover the cursor over here and press it, they all go over there. That is so fucking awesome. I'm so excited about that. I think it's such a great thing to have.